Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we are unpacking something absolutely mind-bending from R.M. Maze's book, The Divine Fractal. We're going to be connecting the physical world right around us, complex mathematics, and ancient biblical theology. It's this massive, sweeping theory about the structure of the universe, and I'm telling you, it is going to completely change how you look at literally everything, from a simple houseplant sitting on your desk to ancient texts. To help us bridge this wild gap from, say, Romanesque broccoli all the way to ancient scripture, we're going to follow a quick roadmap. We'll hit the pattern in nature, infinite complexity, the logos of creation, the Divine Fractal Bible, and finally, the tool and the architect. Let's just jump right in. All right, Section 1, the pattern in nature, seeing the unseen. Let's start our journey right here in the physical world by looking really closely at a few things you have probably seen 1,000 times, but maybe without truly seeing them. Okay, think about this. What do a fern, a river delta, and your lungs all have in common? It's kind of a fascinating question, right? Because despite having absolutely no connection to one another, a river delta definitely didn't consult your lungs while it was forming. They are all governed by the exact same hidden architectural rule. And that hidden rule brings us to the fractal. Coined by the mathematician Benoit Mandelbrot back in 1975, the term comes from the Latin word fractus, meaning broken or irregular. Basically, a fractal is a structure that is self-similar across scales. It literally contains its own shape within itself at every single level of magnification. Nature uses this as a super efficient way of packing maximum surface area into a really limited space. Just think about it for a second. Your lungs branch fractally to pack an enormous surface area, we're talking roughly the size of a tennis court, into a space the size of your two fists. Crazy, right? Or take a fern, which achieves maximum light capture with minimum material simply by repeating the part to build the whole. It is just an incredibly elegant, wise design. Moving on to Section 2, infinite complexity, the math. Let's step out of biology for a minute and into the realm of pure numbers to see just how deep this rabbit hole really goes. Now, what's amazing is how this biological efficiency translates perfectly into the abstract realm of mathematics. Take Mandelbrot's equation, z goes to z squared plus c. It looks deceptively simple, right? It's actually the simplest possible quadratic iteration. But here, iteration is the magic word. The output of that equation is fed right back in as the next input, over and over and over again. And the result of that simple loop is just staggering. When you plot it out, it produces literally infinite complexity. If you zoom into this mathematical shape, it doesn't simplify. The exact same shape repeats itself entirely, even at microscopic scales, all connected by these tiny, intricate filaments. It's infinite complexity emerging from one simple repeating loop. Which brings us to Section 3, the logos of creation, mind behind the design. Because we really have to ask, how do we make sense of this incredible, recurring pattern that spans across both biology and math? Well, this specific signature demands that we ask a much older philosophical question about the mind behind the design. See, both the ancient Greek philosophical tradition and Jewish theology share this foundational concept called the logos. To the Greeks, like the Stoics, the logos was the rational principle holding the entire cosmos together. It's the reason reality makes any sense at all. And in the Jewish tradition, it's the actual speech of God that called light from darkness and created order out of chaos. But both of these ancient traditions agree on one thing. The universe isn't just a cold, dead machine left running. It's more like a word being continuously spoken by an intelligent person who holds all things together. And here is where Maze poses a really powerful question. If the logos signed physical matter and mathematical reason with this very distinct, self-similar fractal pattern, shouldn't we be looking for that exact same handwriting somewhere else? If there is a single author, it stands to reason his signature would be all across his works, right? So let's explore that in Section 4, the Divine Fractal Bible, the textual creation. This brings us right to the core of Maze's unique literary and theological analysis. Maze argues that if the physical creation bears this fractal signature, then the textual creation, scripture itself, must bear it too. He suggests the Bible isn't just a random, disjointed collection of texts. It actually grows and branches like a divine fractal. You have these overarching themes, things like creation, fracture, and restoration, and they repeat self-similarly across every single scale. We're talking from the microscopic level of a single passage all the way up to the macro level of the entire canon. The pattern just grows organically, structurally moving from the place to the people to the covenant, and then branching out into the feasts, the wisdom, the kingdoms, the mission, and the exile. Now, Mays didn't just stumble upon this hidden architecture on a lazy Sunday afternoon. This emerged from over 30 years of cyclical reading. He read the text cover to cover, year after year, until the sheer repetitive weight of the text basically pressed this pattern into his awareness. And the purpose of it all? It's not just some clever literary trick. It's specifically designed to continuously draw the reader toward the center. Just like the branching of a tree or the infinite spiral of the Mandelbrot set, every single part echoes the whole, pointing directly to the central person of the Logos. Okay, our final stop is Section 5, the tool and the architect, AI and human insight. Let's take a quick look at the really fascinating methodology behind uncovering this framework. Mays actually puts it perfectly. He says, AI was my capable shovel, and I moved a lot of dirt with it. He's really quick to clarify that while he did use artificial intelligence to help articulate his ideas and generate imagery, the theological framework itself, that was absolutely not machine-generated. It was unearthed through 30 years of human brokenness and lived human experience. The machine was simply the tool, but the human mind was the architect. Which leads us to a beautifully profound takeaway. Mai says, read the fractal as you would read a letter, not to analyze the handwriting, but to find the one who wrote it. He emphasizes that these repeating patterns, whether you find them in the branching of a river delta, the infinite spiral of an equation, or the cyclical themes of ancient biblical texts, they aren't just cold structural abstractions. They are the distinct handwriting of an architect. The pattern is deeply personal, representing the act of a person who is actively inviting us to know him. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to really ponder. How does the concept of a divine fractal change the way you view the patterns in your own life and the texts you read? If the physical universe, the world of mathematics, and the structure of ancient texts are truly stamped with this self-similar signature of complexity and beauty, how does that shift your perspective on the world around you? Think about that today as you step outside and look at the world and the word with fresh, open eyes. Thanks so much for joining me.